All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a simple phrase, one that might just be the smartest thing you can ever say. And it's an idea that kind of flips what we think we know about intelligence on its head. So let's get into it. So let's just start with a question for you. Picture this. You're in a big meeting, maybe even a heated debate. What's the absolute smartest thing you can say in that moment? You might think it's some brilliant new idea or a killer fact that nobody can argue with. But, well, the real answer is probably not what you're thinking. There it is. Just three little words. I might be wrong. I know, it sounds totally backward, right? I mean, we're always told that confidence is everything, that being certain, that's a sign of strength. But today, we're going to dig into why letting in a little bit of doubt is actually the real sign of a super sharp analytical mind. Okay, so to really get why saying I might be wrong is so powerful, we have to look at the flip side. We've got to understand the danger of its exact opposite, what we can call the certainty trap. It's this mental pattern that honestly can really box in our thinking and stop us from growing. Now, the source material for this actually calls these stupid thinking patterns. But look, it's not about calling anyone stupid. It's about describing a state of mind that, let's be real, we all fall into sometimes. It's that feeling of being so certain, so sure that our beliefs basically become this fortress, and we build the walls up so high that no new information, no matter how good it is, has any chance of getting through. And this really sets up a huge contrast, doesn't it? It's the rigid mind versus the flexible mind. Let's break down what that really looks like. Okay, so on one side, you've got the rigid mind. This is the mind that runs on extreme certainty. For this mindset, changing your opinion feels like a personal failure, like you've lost. So what does it do? It just ignores or explains away any new evidence that doesn't fit, all to protect what it already believes. But then, on the other side, you've got the flexible mind. This one comes from a place of what's called intellectual humility. It sees changing your mind not as a weakness, but as a sign that you're actually learning and growing. It's totally open to new evidence, and it's not scared to ask, hey, is what I believe actually true? And that's the real key right there. The flexible mind wants to get it right, while the rigid mind just wants to be right. So, you see, if the rigid mind is the trap we can fall into, then this flexible, humble mind, that's the key. That's what unlocks a much deeper way of understanding things. We can call it the power of doubt, or if we want to get a little more formal about it, intellectual humility. So what exactly is intellectual humility? Let's be clear. It is not about being a pushover or having no opinions. Not at all. Think of it more like being a detective. It's having the confidence to say, okay, here's what I think I know based on the clues I have so far, but I am totally open to finding new clues. And if that new evidence points somewhere else, you bet I'm going to change my theory. See? It's a really active, engaged way of thinking. And this quote from the source material just nails it. It completely flips that old idea on its head. You know, the person who stubbornly digs in their heels and refuses to change their mind, no matter what, they're not showing strength. What they're really showing is a lack of analytical depth. They just can't process new info and fit it into their worldview. The real strength, the real power, is being able to adapt your thinking. Okay, so what does any of this have to do with being smart? Well, this isn't just some nice-to-have personality trait. This is actually at the very heart of how well our minds work. And here it is, the main event. The true sign of high intelligence isn't about how many facts you can memorize. It's about how good you are at taking in new information to make your understanding of the world better and more accurate. Think about it. A truly smart person isn't the one who's never wrong. It's the one who's always learning, the one who's willing to be wrong today so they can be a little more right tomorrow. So what does this look like in practice? It's actually a pretty simple but really powerful three-step loop. First, you come across some new evidence. Could be a new fact, a different point of view, whatever. Step two, and this is crucial, instead of just shooting it down, you let it challenge your existing belief. You actually ask yourself, does this fit with what I thought I knew? And then, step three, you update your understanding. And every time you do that, your picture of the world gets just a little bit clearer, a little more accurate. All right, let's pull all these threads together. We've talked about this certainty trap. We've talked about the power of being intellectually humble. So what's the bottom line here? What's your smartest move in all this? It really boils down to three big ideas. Number one, remember that being 100% certain about everything can be a trap. It just locks you in place and stops you from learning anything new. Number two, You got to reframe how you think about changing your mind. It is not a weakness, it's a sign of serious intellectual strength. And finally, number 3, start thinking of intellectual humility as your own personal superpower. Seriously, it's the one tool that lets you keep growing, adapting, and getting smarter forever. So, I'm going to leave you with a final thought, a question to chew on. Think about something, anything, that you believe really strongly, something you feel absolutely certain about. And just for a second, ask yourself, what if I'm wrong about this? Just being willing to ask that question, that might be the smartest thing you do all day. Thanks for tuning in.